So I might be a little sadistic, but one of my favorite aspects of sailing around the world is just the raw challenge of it. Having to deal with weather, having to deal with waves, having to deal with systems breaking and installing new systems on the boat. Like, I love all that stuff. I like having a very visceral challenge in front of me all the time. But there's another reason why we live this lifestyle, and it's even on our logo. We want to know our world. We want to experience and learn from the most fascinating and unique parts of our planet. Now, we've been hunkered down for the winter at D-marin Turgutreis in Turkey for a couple months now. For most of that time, we've been getting the boat ready for our next adventure. And in just a few weeks, we're going to set sail to explore the southwest corner of this country before starting to make our way out of the Mediterranean and into the Atlantic Ocean. But Turkey's a big country, and it's home to a handful of bucket list attractions that we don't want to miss, but they're kind of a long ways from our sailing itinerary. So this week, we're going on a road trip to hit up a couple of these amazing places, and what we find will truly change our perspective in ways that we never imagined. This is definitely one of the craziest natural environments I've ever seen in my life.
That was way cooler than I thought it was gonna be.
This is my dream come true. Can you say life is good, baby?
How we looking in here, ladies? We just about ready?
Get dressed.
Just getting some clothes on? That's good. Clothes are essential.
Do I need to wear pants on a road trip? That's a real question.
Yeah, it's up to you to decide. What do you think, baby? Pants on a road trip, yay or nay? As long as you've got Miss Rachel, you're good. People are gonna think that she watches Miss Rachel all day long because when I'm filming projects and stuff, I turn it on. Okay, so we're all set. Last thing before we go, we're gonna be gone for 9 days. And for that long, I like to close all the seacocks that I can because I don't want the boat to sink. So I'm gonna close seacocks and I'm gonna turn off all the electrical stuff that I can as well. Okay, seacocks are closed, electricity is off, stuff is packed, baby and dog are in hand. Bud?
Yeah.
Y'all set?
I'm ready.
Okay, time to close up.
Is that Dad? He's right there. Yeah, let's go. You want to touch Dad? Dad?
Hi, kiss.
Oh, that's nice.
Thank you.
That's nice.
So the first stop on our Turkey road trip is going to be to the ancient city of Ephesus.
Nope.
No?
First stop is dropping the furry baby off.
True. We got to drop off Oso first. He is not coming with us. It's not going to be a dog-friendly road trip.
He does not know that yet, though.
Yeah, don't tell him.
He's like, guys, thanks for including me. This is going to be a great road trip. Road trip of my life.
Hashtag road trip 2024. Okay, Bozo, you remember this place?
I think he does. He's shaking. He's so excited. We left Oso here on one other trip to the States, and he loved it. So I'm glad to see he remembers. Hi, cutie.
You excited, buddy?
He's so happy.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, he's gonna have a way better time than we are.
Yeah. So for this road trip, we're hoping to see the 3 most fascinating destinations in Western Turkey. The big thing is we want to go to Istanbul, one of the most unique and fascinating cities in the world. We're also going to check out the otherworldly hot springs of Pamukkale. But for our first destination, we're heading to explore the ruins of the ancient city of Ephesus.
Holy moly.
Wow. How cool.
Gosh, it's so visually tight and beautiful with all the arcs and the statues. Imagine excavating this place. It'd be so exciting.
The city of Ephesus was one of the wealthiest and most impressive cities in the ancient world. Originally established by the Greeks, then taken by the Romans, the city played a massive role in the early Christian church, at times hosting St. John the Apostle, the Virgin Mary, and the Apostle Paul, whose letters to the city's early church eventually became a book of the Bible. But before all of that, Ephesus was home to the Temple of Artemis, considered by many to be the greatest of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. Probably the most famous part of the ruins of Ephesus is the Library of Celsus. It was massive for its time, holding up to 15,000 scrolls, making it the 3rd largest library of the ancient world. Dang, this is huge.
Yeah,
I'd seen pictures of this, but I had no idea how big it was, you know?
it really is awe-inspiring.
Okay, so this was the library, which is kind of fascinating, right? That like that long ago, they valued the written word so
Yeah.
much.
How is this still stable?
I don't know, push it, see what'll happen.
It's so intricate. There's just carvings everywhere of people and like leaves and little designs.
Yeah, it's insanely intricate and yet massive. It got such a beefy, heavy feel, and then it's got so much little detail.
Isabella, look. You want to touch? Is that cool? Man, this is so expansive. I don't know, I guess I'm the kind of person I don't like appreciate history until I'm in it. And then I'm just blown away. It just thinking of living in a civilization like this, it was probably so grand at the time.
This area was the downtown, and that's what's still around is all the really important buildings that cost a lot to build. And then all the houses that went up into the hills, they're totally gone. You can't find any remnants of a house built out of wood 1,000 years later. What's crazy to think about is that Ephesus was a port town. I mean, I think at one point it was like the second nicest city in the world, second to Rome. It was super wealthy, you know what I mean? Like they had a lot of trade coming in and out of here, but it was a port town. And so the ocean was right here a long time ago. And it's just completely silted up, and now the coast is like miles away. So as I explore a place like Ephesus, I can't help but think about the lives of the people who lived here and walked these streets over 2,000 years ago. When I think about how these ruins are all that are left of those people's dreams and fears, their hopes, and their worries, it makes me think about just how pointless so many of my own concerns are. 2,000 years from now, will it matter if I anxiously strove and struggled to accomplish all of my goals and solve all of my problems? Being in a place like this makes me feel like what will actually matter is, did I spend my time doing something that I felt was meaningful? Now, you don't have to travel long distances to gain this kind of perspective. And I think one great method is to speak with a trained therapist. And that brings me to the sponsor of today's episode, BetterHelp. BetterHelp connects you with a licensed therapist who is trained to listen and give you helpful, unbiased advice. You can do it all from your computer or your phone, over a phone call, video chat, or messaging, however you feel most comfortable. So let BetterHelp connect you to a therapist who can support you all from the comfort of your own home. Visit betterhelp.com/Atticus or choose Sailing Project Atticus during sign up to enjoy a special discount for your first month. One of the largest theaters of the ancient world, the Great Theater at Ephesus, could seat around 25,000 spectators, which, to give you some perspective, is about 2/3 of the capacity of PNC Park in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, where the Pirates play. In addition to gladiatorial fights and dramatic plays, it's believed that the Apostle Paul preached at this very theater.
This is crazy. You think this is where the gladiators came out?
I mean, it does look like this would have been the entrance, you know?
We're a gladiator, baby. We're gonna kick some butt. Ready? How's our acting?
I think that was good.
Yeah?
Are you not entertained?
Yeah, so I know that gladiators were a thing here, and they did fight in Ephesus. Being such a wealthy city, that kind of a sport was very popular here. And so it's crazy to think about, like, right here where I'm standing, where Isabella was crawling around, like how many people died in combat in front of thousands of people. That's so crazy. Is this your weapon, my little gladiator? Whoa, whoa, nice. Good move, good
Get him,
move.
baby. Get him.
Yeah, so but another thing I learned is this marble floor is original. Did you hear me?
Yeah.
You're just distracted by cute baby.
Yeah.
This is so much of what our life has become, is me talking too much and Desiree not listening.
Whoa. Look, there's a lady up there, baby. She's got crazy curly hair like you. Whoa, these are houses.
I think that these were the houses of the elite. Like, so the really wealthy people lived in downtown with houses built out of stone. And what's interesting too is that these people were the wealthiest people in Ephesus, but because of how wealthy Ephesus was, they were probably some of the wealthiest people in the world. These houses didn't really have windows because like windows, you know, would let water in and stuff. And because the houses were built like right next to each other. So they didn't have like space around them. So they were built with a courtyard in the middle. And then all the rooms surrounded the courtyard and would have that breeze come in from the courtyard and sunlight. Basically, it could rain into here and then they had a way for the water to get collected, you know?
Whoa.
Oh, wow.
The northern room with rectangular and semicircular basins functioned as a caldarium, which is a warm bathroom.
Wow, can you imagine that? Like 1,000 years ago and you have a freaking sauna in your house.
That would be awesome.
But look at this.
Crazy, it's so pretty.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazingly maintained. Like, I can't believe how good it looks.
Ooh, lion.
Wow, yeah, that's so cool. But look at how there's still like artwork on the walls. Oh, and the tiles too. I mean, that's crazy that this is so freaking old.
Like you were saying, the fact that there's still paint on the walls, like tile work, is crazy. Yeah, look, bud. It almost looks like a carpet.
Yeah, that's so cool, man. That's amazing. Good job. Yeah. Okay, so we're looking for the last thing here at Ephesus, which is the house of the Virgin Mary, so like the mother of Jesus. And we are having a difficult time finding it.
But it's very exciting.
But we did stumble upon this giant pile of like cool old stones. That's so crazy. It's just these like beautiful, ornate, ancient marble stones, and they're just in a giant pile.
So basically, St. John took the Virgin Mary after Jesus was crucified and had to hide her until, you know, she passed away, essentially. So he brought her to Ephesus, built her a house like in the mountains, and just totally had her hidden back there.
And then John started, I think, what is considered the first Christian church in Ephesus. Once the Christians were no longer in hiding and were kind of running the show, then they built this church in honor of the Virgin Mary. So this church was the Church of the Virgin Mary, which this part here is so crazy. So pretty sure that this is where they would like baptize people, and then they were surrounded by these gnarly giant stones. Like, go stand next to that, bud.
Just when we came through here, we both just like stopped in our tracks. Like,
Yeah.
whoa, something very significant used to happen here.
Yeah, I mean, look at that. Desiree was like, I'm pretty sure they did sacrifices in here. I'm like, I don't think the early Christian
Probably
church.
baptizing. Even though you have to use your imagination a lot, it is one of the coolest churches I've ever been to.
Yeah,
Probably just because of the significance, just thinking about it, you know?
yeah. Isabella thinks it's very exciting also.
Most of the sculptures from this area are now housed in the nearby Museum of Ephesus, and some of them are truly impressive. But my favorite is the massive statue of Artemis. This marble statue is much larger than I am, and is very similar to the figure that would have been housed within the Temple of Artemis. The temple would have been about the size of a soccer field, but 4 stories tall, making it almost 4 times larger than the Parthenon in Athens. Unfortunately, the Temple of Artemis was completely destroyed, and all that is left today is a single column.
So this right here is the tomb of St. John. So the guy that wrote the book of the Bible, John, one of the Gospels. And this used to be the Basilica of St. John. So this was one of the grandest cathedrals in the world at one point. And obviously now it's just ruins. But it's still very impressive. And what's crazy is that a lot of the marble that they used to build this structure was taken from a lot of the old monuments from Ephesus. So it's just kind of crazy to see humans continuing to do the same thing over and over again, like trying to erect structures to serve as like a symbol for what those people stand for and what those people find meaningful, you know?
She's like, pack Pack it in, Mom. Keep it coming.
So I just came from up there. That's the Basilica of St. John. And now we're getting breakfast at our hotel.
That's so pretty.
And we are the only ones here, and it is beautiful, man. Mountains in the distance. Hungry, frowny baby. He's like, what the heck are you doing?
2 hard-boiled eggs already, and she wants more.
Yeah.
It's the bottomless pit.
And we got some Turkish tea, baby. Oh, yes. This is the way to start the day. So we are heading out of here today, and we are off to see what is probably the most visually stunning natural environment in all of Turkey.
Our next stop on the road trip was to the hot springs of Pamukkale, but we found out that the Virgin Mary's house was actually on our way, so we took a quick detour.
Yeah, so this is the house where Mary lived her last days. Pretty cool.
Kadınların en mübareği sensin ve mübarek de senin evladın İsa.
Aziz Meryem, Allah'ın annesi.
That was way cooler than I thought it was going to be. There was nuns and priests in there chanting, and everyone was silent, and it just felt really just still, and it was
Yeah, it was a lot all at once. It was really cool.
I guess I thought of her as an actual person for the first time.
As a mom.
As a mom, yeah.
Just as we were leaving, we saw an area where people left behind small notes or pieces of fabric containing prayers, wishes, and petitions. As it turns out, these notes are left by Christians and Muslims alike. The Virgin Mary is known as Maryam in the Islamic tradition, and is the only woman mentioned by name in the Quran, Islam's holy text, where she is honored as a righteous and chaste woman. Her story in the Quran shares some similarities with the Christian narrative, such as her virgin birth to Jesus, the main difference being that in Islam, Jesus is considered one of the prophets, not the Son of God, as in Christianity. Next, we hit the road for the 3-hour drive to Pamukkale, where we found ourselves driving through a ton of farmland and one small town after another. And early the next morning, we set off from our hotel room in search of one of Turkey's most incredible landscapes.
Oh my God, buddy, this is my dream come true.
Yeah.
This is what I imagine in my head as paradise. Just hot water, beautiful scenery. It's a little bit crisp, so the hot water feels really good. Oh my God, this is so cool. I'm so giddy, buddy.
These white rock formations are called travertines, and they formed over the course of thousands of years. As hot, mineral-rich water from thermal springs flows over the landscape, it cools, causing calcium carbonate to precipitate, meaning that it forms a solid and settles out of the water. Slowly, over thousands of years, this process created these massive white terraces of hardened calcium carbonate.
I really like the little ripples too here. It's a teeny little area, but then that's what each one of these pools is. It kind of mimics these structures on a small scale, you know? I'm gonna try to dip my feet in because they are currently frozen.
Is it real hot?
I can't tell because my feet are frozen.
Numb?
Oh, it feels really good. It's actually nice.
Oh
to
my
just sit
gosh.
here.
Oh, that feels good.
Can you say life is good, baby?
What you got there, buddy?
I found a calcified maple leaf.
Is that real?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's just a leaf that got coated in this calcium or lime, whatever it is.
That seems
Issa,
fake.
you want to touch it? It's
Like
a
the
leaf.
coolest thing I've ever seen. That's gotta be fake.
No, I can see the leaf inside.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, this place is just nuts, man. Walking around and then seeing natural infinity pools with waterfalls, and the water's warm. This is definitely one of the craziest natural environments I've ever seen in my life.
So the natural hot springs of Pamukkale have actually been popular for thousands of years, and not 100 yards away are the ruins of the ancient town of Hierapolis. Back then, it was believed that these natural hot springs had healing properties, and so it became popular for wealthy people to move here in their old age. And so Hierapolis basically became the Florida of the ancient world.
Man, Isn't this crazy that we're just hanging out in a field next to some ancient ruins?
Yeah.
Ancient ruins are something that I spent most of my life romanticizing and just wondering if I could ever see them myself. And then now in like Greece and Turkey, they're just everywhere.
Isabella. Where's Mom's nose? Good job, baby. Good job.
Isabella, where's Dad's ear? Good job, Stinker.
baby.
Yeah, you got it. Good job.
Oh, nice. That's a big rock. Good job. Good find.
Come on,
Here
baby.
we go, baby.
You can do it. Yeah, yeah,
Good
yeah.
job.
Good job. Walk,
Good
walk,
job.
walk.
Oh,
Don't go in the
big
giant
hole.
crevasse. Whoa.
Pretty soon she's gonna be doing this on her own.
I know.
You're such a good little walker, baby.